Hey, isn't Thursday like your recording day?
Yeah.
Then what are you doing like that? I'm relaxing, I gotta let the jokes marinate a little.
Ah, but
And that is why I'm recording an hour and 30 minutes before I go to work on a Saturday. I thought, we made a huge jump. We went from 300 subs to 1.6k subs really fast. So, let's do a 1.6k special. How do I make my videos? Why do I make my videos? What is my process? How do you make money on YouTube? Questions that a really small YouTuber will tell you. Actually, I don't think I can call myself a YouTuber. Right, the first thing I do when I make a video is record. I don't do a script, sometimes do notes. For the power level video, I did do notes for both of them. But I just kind of just go out there and have fun. The amount of jokes that I cut from the video because they're unnecessary, it's like, dude, I'm just out here having a good time, yapping to myself for an hour. No, I'm not crazy. You're crazy. I don't use anything too fancy for my setup. Besides this is the only professional thing that I have when it comes to recording. Right, so this is my setup. I have ring light, the Switch 2. Obviously, my first video ever was based on me trying to get the Switch 2. I got a lamp that I just like shine at the wall because it's too bright on my own face. So just shine it away from the face. And then I got my computer with a free audio recording website that we got going on here. And we got the mic. Yeah, nothing too fancy. My camera is my phone. And it's propped up on this 3D printer. And it's propped up against this speaker. You don't need anything too fancy. The amount of iPhone storage I had to delete just to record these videos is insane. Some of these recordings go on for like 20 minutes is like 2 gigs. But yeah, recording in and of itself is probably my second least favorite part of this because it's always the first step. The first step to doing anything is always really annoying. And it's the most inconvenient step because you have to schedule your day. And then after that, I upload all my camera footage to Google Drive, which my school owns. And then I have everything on my computer. And then begins the longest and potentially fun part of this job. Why do I keep referring to it like this is not my job? I'm going to my job in hour 20 minutes. But this part is whether you actually like this or not. Editing. The average editing time for one of my videos is 8 hours. I reserve all of my Sunday to editing. How you edit your videos is what makes or break your video. My editing style is that I cut out everything unnecessary. Everything unnecessary to the main topic, or you keep it in if it's really funny, but you have to find a good place for it. I have so many random jokes that I just like made in recording that I had to cut out. I think only 15% of my recordings actually make it into the video. And I spend a lot of time looking for royalty-free music or not royalty-free music and just biting the bullet that my video is not going to be monetized because I wanted to do something funny. All right, yeah, you did it. You edited it all the way from 11 p.m. to 7 p.m. and then you're just like, all right, finally, I got this thing done. Now we can upload it to YouTube. And then you remember you have to do one crucial detail. The thumbnail. There are very few thumbnails on my channel that I dislike. Maybe Hollow Knight Episode 2's thumbnail is, alright. The colors aren't great. Maybe 6-7 Part 1 had a pretty bad thumbnail. But I like nearly all of my thumbnails. Hollow Knight Episode 3 being my favorite thumbnail. And the Mega Pokemon ranking being my second favorite thumbnail. But when you're making that thumbnail, right after you just edited for 8 hours, it feels like you're so close to finally uploading it and this thing is just in your way. I have a pretty simple thumbnail style where I just put red text next to like essential figure or like something to focus your eye, All right, and then you finally do the thumbnail. All right, we're good, we're good. All right, let's just upload this to YouTube and then I can show my brother and just hope it does well. So you wake up the next morning and then you see how it did on the first day. And most of the time it will not perform well. Usually it takes around 4 to 6 days for your video to find its audience. And then it will boom. But also sometimes videos just underperform when they really shouldn't. Hollow Knight Episode 1, 500 views. Hollow Knight Episode 2, like 300 views. Episode 3, 90. What? But also, a lot of times your hard work does pay off. The power scaling video took 4 weeks to make as opposed to my like a couple days. And guess what? Now it's my biggest video on my channel. Yeah, that launched my channel. Same thing with the AHR video. I gained a lot of music fans. At the end of the day, you just have to know, life's chaos. The algorithm is chaos. The fact that anything does well is a blessing. I know 90% of small YouTubers did not grow as fast as I did. Love to be here. See you next week for the next video. Wonder what it will be.